everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beef Master Banner. We are your hosts, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to this springtime coming.
Yeah, this warm weather we're getting after the snow we had has got me itching for some green grass.
Absolutely. We've had a hard frost here the last 2 mornings, so I'm ready for it myself. Man, that sale in Houston was awful good.
Yeah, they had a pretty strong sale. Looks like sounds like averages held up, and I had some big money on some animals too.
Yeah, let's jump into the results. So the Houston Magic sale, there were 50 live lots sold there. Total was $223,450. 44.69 was the average.
Looks like the high seller went to Next Gen Cattle Company, $10,000 for their open heifer, which was a CJ's Revolution, crossed on a CJ's Flint Hills Diamond cow. There, she was a good rip.
Really good, and the pedigree just sort of speaks for itself. I don't know that anybody needs to guess whose pedigree that is.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. The STBBA futurity that was after that, the same day, 55 lots sold there, a total of $305,500 with an average of 55, 54, 55. So it was an even better sale there.
Yep, that one averaged nearly a little over $1,000, a lot higher there. And Next Gen Cattle Company swept both sales with a high seller. Another open heifer that brought $26,000. Whopping price there. She was a CJ's Bernard and out of a McAllister daughter. And I saw the videos of her on Facebook, and man, she was lights out. So I'm telling you, whoever got that one was a good buy.
She was sure enough good. I feel like you could breed her tons of different ways and probably never go wrong. I think that was good, but that was some good sales. It's sale season and it's real fun watching. But we'll get into our guest tonight. We're here with Sarah Loudermilk of Laze L Farm Photography. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great. So I'm sure a lot of folks don't know, especially in the Beefmaster breed, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about Laze L Farm Photography.
My name is Sarah, and my husband and I have a farm here in North Carolina, and he's more of the cow guy. I grew up around horses, but being around them so much, you kind of just learn so much about them. But I've grown up around horses and cows since I was little. Both of my grandparents had cows, and they just kind of had like small cattle farms that they raised out for beef. And but my family's been in the ag industry for a long time, and but now we do mostly like pastures, and we do a little bit of a cross. So we do like a like Angus or a Beefmaster cross, and we have a grass fed beef business. So we have that, and we sell pretty much all over North Carolina with that. And then we are actually, Chris is the third generation on the farm that we're on now. His grandfather started it back in the 60s, and he had cows, and his dad kind of started it, and then Chris started back when he was young, and he's been doing it since then. So we've kind of just been building the meat business since we've been married.
And y'all stay pretty busy with the meat too, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be a small operation, we can kill about 5 to 6 a year. We're not a huge beef business, but we usually sell about 5 to 6 whole beefs per year.
Okay, good deal. And Jared, that kind of goes back to our carcass episode. That really starts coming into play there again.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's neat and hearing success stories with Beefmaster crossing, on other cattle like Angus and selling an end product that people are happy with and coming back to buy more of.
Absolutely. How about Laze L Farm Photography? Tell us how you started that and all about that.
So basically, that started way back in college, a long time ago. I was on the equestrian team, and I started falling in love with photography, and I would shoot literally anything under the sun. I would take my camera with me and go all over the place, and about 10 years ago, I bought my first, I guess my first big girl camera. And from there, I just started shooting like local rodeos here on the farm. And I used to blog all the time about the farm and what we were doing and things like that. And it just kind of escalated and turned into a full-time job now. And so now I get to shoot all over the country. And I'm leaving in the morning in about 8 hours to go to Colorado to shoot a couple of farms out there. So it's turned into a full time job and getting to travel and meet people all over the country from Oregon to I'm going to California in the fall to Texas, Oklahoma, Montana, South Dakota, like just pretty much anywhere, Virginia, even like Virginia, down to Florida. I mean, there's stuff all over. So it's definitely brought a lot of cool people into my life, and it's definitely something I never thought I would do full time since I went to college for computer science. I was a computer nerd, so it kind of helped the back end of my business because I knew how to do all that stuff. So when it comes to the photography, it was kind of a nice balance. And so now I'm doing this, and it's just been a lot of fun.
And you get to meet a lot of people along the way. That's the fun.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the fun
yes.
part.
I can't imagine being able to get to travel all over the country like that. And get to see all of that scenery too, because you're going to sounds like you're going to farms mostly, and obviously getting to see the different types of farms all over the country. That's pretty neat.
And that's what's so cool is learning. Like, I got to spend like a week on a ranch out in Oregon, and like it was like a cow calf operation. And they out there, a cow calf takes anywhere from like 20 to 25 acres per pair, and they're like a high desert. And then then traveling to Montana and visiting with an Angus ranch out there, and they're about 1,200 acres right on the Yellowstone River, and getting to see them and their operation. They do mostly bulls in the spring, and then there's, my other friends, they have a smaller herd in Montana and stay on their ranch. And then, just going down to Texas to those ranches. And I don't know, it's just and everywhere is different, and like learning how each farm operates depending on where they're located at in the country. Like going out to Oklahoma, they're more desert type, sand, kind of like Texas. And they're also a little bit more like higher land than we are here. Like when I told them we're like an acre to acre and a half, for a cow calf pair, she was like, "Holy cow!" So they have to have so much more land out there to feed their farms. So it's been really cool learning all the ins and outs of agriculture and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's, as far as the purebred operations go, and I know you know this, how important it is, especially in seed stock, trying to market your cattle. Tell us what's in a good picture. What makes a good picture?
The thing that usually catches my eye about looking at agriculture and stuff like that, especially like looking at some like cows and stuff, is like even lighting. If you see some pictures that might be like spotty lighting, which is like if you're underneath a shade tree and the sun's coming in and you have really hot spots and really dark spots, that's called spotty lighting. Um, the thing that catches my light is either complete even sun or complete even shade, because it's going to keep your eye on the cow the whole time instead of jumping around. And a good clean background, so you don't have a lot of junk in the background, like hay feeders or just old feeders laying around. Just a nice clean background so your focus is on the animal.
Good deal. So pretty much lighting would be probably the number one thing when it comes to a good picture.
Yeah, and like just like even if you take it in the middle of the day or like in the morning, you can depending on which side you're taking, you can turn the steer or the cow towards the sun, so you'll have nice even lighting on them. It'll pick out their good spots. And then if you go to the other side or just have them turn around, if you have somebody helping you work in the pen, taking it in the same lighting. So if you take it, like say you take the left side in the sun, take the right side in the sun, so that all of your pictures look the same and not like one in the shade and one in the sun. And just having pictures that all are consistent across the board, and just picking up trash off the ground, like picking up, like find a nice clean pasture that you can take them in, or a clean pen that's not muddy. Because if you're standing in the mud and you're standing in like old hay and stuff, it just doesn't look good in the pictures. If you have a concrete pad, that would be the most ideal. If you don't, just a nice clean ground or a nice clean like low cut grass, so you can see their whole leg, you can see their hoof if you can. But at least the majority of their leg, because people are going to be looking at legs and build and all that. And if you can't see it, then you're just going to flip to the next one.
I, I think it's interesting you bring up the way you turn the animal, because even I'm definitely an amateur at trying to take pictures, but I've tried to take, we'll get a good camera and take good pictures, and the lighting is very important, because and the way the animal is facing, because even if the animal turns and is in clear view, but if the sun, like if they're facing into the sun or away from the sun, those shadows cast across the animal's body, and it just
Mm-hmm.
throws it all off. So like you're saying, get you a pen or whatever. I think that's a great idea. And as you do it over time, you'll probably learn the best times of day to take those pictures, I guess.
Yeah, and honestly, like you don't have to be scared. I know that everybody has a schedule and everybody has, things to do. The ideal perfect lighting would be like early in the morning, like an hour after sunrise, or like an hour or two before sunset. But you can shoot in the middle of the day as long as you have that even lighting on that one side. So like it can be because if you're shooting into the sun, so where the sun would be like behind the cow, you're gonna not get a sharp, clean picture because your camera is gonna be trying to focus on the light coming from. But if you turn the cow towards the sun, so the sun is behind you, all that even lighting is going to be going right onto the cow. Just watch your shadow, because sometimes it'll cast a shadow, but you should be able to back up far enough so that your shadow is not casted in that. But I mean, you don't have to have a fancy camera. Cell phones work perfectly fine.
Yeah, they've come a long way with the cell phone cameras. A lot of my pictures I take now are just with my phone out in the field, and everything lines up right sometimes. But that nice camera sometimes is be able to get more of a zoom if you're, like you're saying, get away from your shadow and stuff sometimes.
And I was going to say, honestly, if you don't zoom in when you take your picture, because when you start zooming in, you start losing quality of pictures. If you actually take it a little further away, you're going to get a higher def picture, and then you can crop it in your camera with it. Most phones now have like an editing thing inside the picture. You can just click edit, and then you can just crop in closer and straighten your image up.
That's a good point.
Use your legs and not the zoom is what I usually say.
Well, and myself, I'm not good at taking pictures at all. I'm just not even going to try to hide that fact. Sarah, you know this, and my wife knows this, and you know that she knows that. but she's really good at it too. So she, especially when it comes to cell phone pictures, which Sarah, we're friends and all, but it's pretty amazing what a good picture will do.
Yeah, and Jessie does fantastic. She does a really good job. And honestly, you're not going to be great at it after one time. Just go out and take pictures, like just practice. If you know you have a sale coming up and you know that you're going to have to take pictures, just go practice. Even though the background might not be clean, go out at different times of the day, take your cell phone and just practice taking pictures of them out in the pasture, so you can kind of learn what to look for and come back in and kind of just get an idea and like play around with editing a little bit and pull your shadows up a little bit and just kind of just play, because that's how you learn. Don't try to go out there and do this the first time when you know you have a cell. Like just practice with it.
Yeah, that's some great advice. So moving more towards videos, what would you say would be in a good video as far as quality? Would it be sort of the same principles?
Yeah, good lighting, a clean background, and a steady hand. So there's a couple ways you can go about that. Try and there's a whole lot that goes into it, but the simple version is if you have a tripod, you can get a tripod for your cell phone on Amazon for like $15. Set your phone up. Do it landscape, especially if the videos are going to be going on like Facebook and stuff. Facebook likes landscape, which means long ways, which is the opposite way that you talk on your phone. So it would be like you would turn it sideways and put it on the tripod and just set it up. And that way you're going to have a steady hand, or just get like a trash can or something that you can prop it up against to keep it steady. Because if you're moving, then you're going to have the jiggle and people are going to be like, what's going on? So the main thing is just finding a steady place to put it, good lighting. And my other thing is I always recommend is a lot of people might not know this, but your camera on your video on your phone is probably set to the lowest resolution that it will do, but you can actually change the resolution of the video to get better quality video. And it's super simple. Like on an iPhone, if you're in the video, like you're getting ready to record, in the upper right hand corner, if you just tap, it'll probably say like HD 30 or 4K 30. That 30 means 30 frames per second, which means it's taking like a super fast video. But if you click on that 30, just hit it with your finger, it'll jump to 60, which means that you'll be getting like 60 frames per second, which will produce a better quality video. And so my suggestion is to normally shoot at 4K 60 to get a really, really good quality video. I've just found that it looks better on social media, and it just looks more professional, and you're not jiggling everywhere, and you just have a steadier hand that way.
Well, I just learned something. That's a good tip right there, because I never knew that.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I was watching some YouTube videos because I've started doing more behind the scenes with my photography business, and it's hard to pull out your video camera every single time you need to, or your extra body to take video. So I just started setting my phone up, and so once I started doing that, and it looks amazing. Like you would never. I mean, it's not like a professional video camera, but it makes a huge difference. Like practice taking it in like a 30 frames per second, and then switch to a 60 frames per second, and you'll see a huge difference. And you can change it back. Like if you take a lot of videos, like behind the scenes and stuff, you can shoot at 30 frames per second. But if you're trying to film a sell video, the 60 frames per second will give you a lot better quality of your video.
Some really good advice. Really good advice. And obviously we're learning stuff here as we go too. So that's a pretty cool thing. If someone, and this may be partially the same answer as far as maximizing their videoing, would you say that probably a steady hand tripod is probably the most important, followed by lighting?
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be a tripod. I mean, literally a trash. I've used like the front of my car and like whatever I could find laying in my car, just somewhere that's steady so that it's not moving. Like you could use the tailgate of the truck, or the side, whatever you're sitting in, just something that is not moving. Or if you have it, just like spread your feet out and like kind of lean forward a little bit, and that'll help steady your hand if you don't have any other way to do it. Just try not to move a lot and just try to hold still as much as you can.
Sure, sure. And I don't want to try to feel like this is taken away from professional photography or professional videos like yourself. It's just obviously everything costs money nowadays. So if folks are going to consign at a sale, and maybe they don't have the extra money to spend, or don't want to spend the money, this is just good ways to go about doing it a different way also.
Yes, absolutely. Because I know it's expensive. I mean, I do it for a living. I know it's not cheap, and like that's what I'm here. Like I can't shoot every single cow that you have come through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not every, unless you're just a huge business and you're a big beef producer, like they may hire somebody or maybe have somebody in house. But I mean, if I know it's expensive, and like these are just little things you can do yourself, and like, but you'll get better the more you practice. Like Jessie shoots mostly with her cell phone, and
She
she
does.
has a nice camera, and like, and her stuff, it looks like a professional camera, but she's just practiced and shot, and she's gotten really good at it.
And she enjoys doing it. She enjoys going out and being with the cows anyway. So that's just another way to maximize, being able to look at them. She'll
Yeah,
see them during the day when I'm at work, and so it's just a fun way to look at them a different way.
exactly. And another thing too is I was going to tell you is like if you're taking video, then you don't actually have to take pictures, because if you're recording in like the 4K 60 frames per second, it's such a high quality video. You can actually go through and screenshot from your video because you can pause it exactly where you want it. So if you take video of everything, you don't even have to go back and take pictures. You can just take screenshots from your video and use that as your pictures as well.
Okay.
Okay,
That's cool. Oh, right there.
that's really good to know.
And
Uh,
another thing I was going to say too is if people want to start using professional photographers, but they just can't afford it, you can always reach out to like your local high school photography class, like a local college if they have a photography business, or sometimes like the local 4-H groups have like a little photography club. Like you can have them come out to your farm, take pictures and practice, and in return for letting them come out, they could give you some images of your cows and stuff. That's another like a lower end that you could have people come in that if you maybe couldn't afford like a full time professional photographer, or just post on Facebook. Somebody might be getting started and they would love to come out and practice and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never would have thought about the high school or anything like that.
Yeah, that's definitely thinking outside the box. Just to kind of transition maybe a little bit, we had talked earlier, you mentioned that you'd listened to one of our marketing podcasts, and we talked a little bit about social media. And, we've kind of hit on in the past how important it is, especially to a new breeder, to get your name out there and, show quality images of your livestock and things like that. And is there anything that you would recommend, especially running like your own social media platform and helping others with that? Is there any ideas that you think would help these newer breeders to connect with other breeders?
Yeah, and one of my biggest things is to always show your face, because you can post 100,000 pictures of a cow, but not people don't see your cows every day. So if you will actually show your face, like show a picture of your family, show your face, like you don't have to do it all the time, but once every 2 to 3 weeks, post a picture of yourself, so people get to know who you are instead of only like your cows, because not that they're not beautiful, but we want to see your face too. Because if you think about like big brands like Subway, you have Jared. McDonald has Ronald McDonald. What's the other? Geico has an actual Geico. And when you see that Geico, you automatically think about that business. So people will start to link who you are to your business. And so, like, if they see you at a sale or at a meetup or something, they're going to know exactly who you are just from your face, and they don't even have to ask what your farm is.
And
And
they
so,
or that they may approach you or feel more comfortable approaching you, knowing who you are as well.
yes, absolutely. Because, like, I mean, if you saw somebody just sitting over in the corner and you did, and you follow a lot of people online, and he may be one of the biggest producers in the business, but if he doesn't show his face and you're new to the business, you're not going to know who he is.
I agree, and that's kind of the way I approached it when we very first started going to sales. Is I tried to go to every sale that I could go to. Rodney and I would travel, to every sale that we thought we could make it to. Probably wasn't as many as we should have, but just get your face out there. But if you can't, then obviously social media, Facebook, Instagram, I guess TikTok anymore even would be places for it.
Yes, TikTok. TikTok is the land of making yourself look dumb, but it's also the land of you get to know a lot of people. And people get to know you and your business, and it's not just a business. They actually get to know who you are as a person. Because I'll be the one, I've embarrassed myself more times on TikTok than I care to even share, but I have connected with so many more people, and it gets your business out there, and it literally doesn't cost anything but your time, which is the cool thing. And like, you can, even if you don't want to show your face all the time, you can record yourself. Like I was talking to them earlier, if you're out, like, worming or whatever if you're vaccinating, checking cows, set your phone up and hit the record button and just let it record, or hold your phone up. And if you're moving pasture, if you do rotational grazing or something, if you're moving the cows, have your phone set up, back, like maybe on the back of the truck, and hit the record button, walk over, open the gate, and let your cows come through. And there's your 10-second behind the scenes video. You can post it. You can use it on TikTok. You can use it on Instagram, and you can use it on Facebook. There's 3 locations you can use that one video to post. Because if you remember, sometimes on social media, you think posting one time people are going to see it, and they're not. You could post the same thing 3 times and it could reach everybody at different things. So if you post that same video to all 3, that's 3 times the reach that your business might get just from that little 10-second video that you posted. And you're not even talking, you're opening a gate, letting cows out.
And there are tons of people on all 3 social media sites. I would venture to probably say that those are the number one marketing tools of really um, anything anymore.
Oh yeah, like for sure. Those are probably the top three. And Instagram Reels is really coming up too. And you could post to Reels and you literally put it on there, put some music on it, and you don't even have to talk, which is a good thing. And I mean, if you have a kid, have your kid hold the phone, while you're opening the gate or whatever you're doing, or your wife or your husband or whoever. Just take somebody out there with you and just have them record you and just have them record several videos while you're doing these things. So you have like a little library of take some pictures while you're out there, like snap 4 or 5 pictures every time you go out in the pasture. Because then you're going to have content to post and you don't have to like try to plan stuff all the time. You'll have stuff already on your phone that you can post throughout the day. And you don't have to post every day and you don't have to do all three at one time. Just pick one and stick with it and try to post consistently and regularly. But the good thing about Facebook is if you have a Facebook page, you can post to Instagram and Facebook at the same exact time. So you literally have to post it one time, but it goes to both platforms, which is super nice.
Well, and I think it also, doing the TikTok or Instagram, the videos you're talking about, it kind of brings more of the personal aspect of it. People get to sort of, not that they know you personally, but they kind of get to know you more on a personal level that way because they get to see what you're doing and they get, like you said, you get to see your face, not just going to sales or doing business or this and that out of the business aspect of it. They kind of get to see um, you as a person and your family.
Yeah, and that's where they start to connect with you because like they might be a young family just starting out and you might be like in your 30s and they're in their 20s and you've been doing this for 10 years and you have a little bit ahead of them and they're looking up to you and they may be they may have kids and you have kids and you both live in a rural setting and they're going to connect to you like that. I don't know if you follow some of the bigger families like the Kavoriks. They're big on YouTube. And then I think it's NC Farm Wife. She's also on YouTube. They're both big on YouTube and like you connect with their families more than the business. Like I watch the Kavoriks on my lunch break on Mondays and Tuesdays because they're just so much fun to watch and they've got two little kids and older son, and they run a big outfit out in Kansas, no, Nebraska, and in the Sandhills. And so like you feel like their family because they're just so open about what they do and they talk about their daily operations and just little things, and they post a video like once a week, but you still feel like you know them because they're showing you what their life is like on the farm.
Yeah, I've watched the Kovacs too on there, and it's interesting you bring that up because uh, I think, like you're saying, you connect with people, and I think you're more interested in seeing what people are actually doing versus sometimes you want to know what their cattle's like instead of their cattle, but sometimes you want to see how you relate to them as well, and that's a good way to do business. Is most of the time, and that's something I've learned in sales meetings stuff. Most people buy from you because of who you are or how you connect more than the product sometimes.
And that's the best thing about it is like, and your marketing one that you did, I think it was the second episode, you say you're not everybody's cup of tea. And this also helps them to see whether they're your fit or not. There's other families that I've followed. I'm kind of like, like there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not, I don't relate to them as easily as I would like the Cavorks because they have little kids and a farm. And like Natalie runs a business. And so it's like you kind of find people that that so then you know them and you feel comfortable with them because you've actually seen how and what they do on their farm, and so how they take care of their cattle, how they do that stuff, and it's similar to the way that you do it, and so you feel comfortable buying from them because you've seen how they process stuff.
Makes a lot of sense, really does.
And Jared, you guys have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we should put more on it than we have. I've just put a lot of times. The reason I started the YouTube page was if I had a customer that wanted to see a video, that was the easiest way for me to post it on there and transfer it to them instead of it's hard to get the email to work with the big video files and stuff. So I started doing that, and it's kind of evolved a little bit. I need to pick that back up.
I was
Really.
going to say one more thing. If you do need to edit video on your phone, There's an app called CapCut. It's CAPCUT. It is so easy to import video in there. Like if you have like multiple steers or cows or bulls or whatever you need to put together, you just import your videos in there. You can do it right on your phone. You can adjust the length of each clip, and then when you get done, you just hit export, and it's already on your phone, and then you can upload it to YouTube. It is so easy to use. They've got filters. You can crop it, you can rotate it, you can whatever you need to do. It's super easy. They have tutorials, but that's the easy way to edit video on your phone. If you do need to, like, they've got music that you can add. It's super easy.
That's cool. I'll have to write that down. CapCut.
Yep. Somebody else told me about it, and I use it all the time for like behind the scenes video and stuff. To like, if you take like a montage of like an evening or something, like I may be at a photo shoot and I'll take a little video on the way there. I'll take a little bit of video like while I'm shooting, maybe show a couple pictures on the back of the camera, and then maybe driving home, and then I'll put them all together, and then I can edit them and then export it and then upload it to TikTok, YouTube, or whatever, and it's already put together. And you don't have to try to, and you can adjust like how your clips are, and so it's really nice to have that as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Sarah, how can people contact you if maybe they have questions? If they possibly would want to come, let you take pictures of the cows, of their family, of their place. How can they get a hold of you?
You can find me on pretty much any social media platform, from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, anything. I'm pretty much on there, and it's Laze L Farm Photography, and Lazy is Laze, because that was the name of our farm that his dad named it like 30 years ago. And it just stuck, and that's how I named our farm. Is how I named my business, and so it's Laze, and then the letter L, and then farm, FARM, and then photography. So pretty much, it looks like Laze L Farm Photography when you type it in, but all my information's on there. You can shoot me a text, a DM. I check everything. So just if you have any questions, you can just shoot them my way.
That's awesome. Well, Sarah, we do appreciate you coming on and sharing all this with us. Before we go, Jared, there's a few sales still left. Let's go over what's coming up here towards the end of the month.
Well, starting, I don't know when we get this posted, but Lissy Frozen Genetics Frozen Genetics sale is this week. So Wednesday and Thursday. So you need to check that out. And then, of course, coming up this weekend is the Beef on Forage sale. I was actually watching the video of it the other day. And, man, there's some stout bulls in that deal. And then the Live Oak Spring sale is the same day on the 19th. And then the Emmons Bull sale will be the next weekend on the 26th, I believe.
Be lots of bulls to buy.
Yeah, I was watching the Emmons Bull sale too. I might be partially biased, but some of them Captain Britches signs are really stout.
Well, maybe just a little, but it's all right because he's good.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, we really do appreciate you coming on and sharing all this, and sure had a blast doing it.
Thank you, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for the information. I learned a lot. I definitely want to implement some of the things you mentioned.
That's good, because I was really nervous because y'all were my first. I've been on the other side of the mic, but actually being a guest, this was my first one.
Well, I figured I could con you into doing this.
I'll just make sure we take lots of pictures now.
Well, we do appreciate it, and everybody, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.